Every December, the classroom changed. The walls filled with paper snowflakes. The windows fogged from warm air and cold mornings. And the lights stayed on a little longer than usual, as if the building itself didn't want the days to end too quickly. But there was one thing in that room that didn't belong. A candle. It stood on the corner of a small wooden desk near the back of the classroom. Plain, white, unmarked. Every morning, it was unlit. And every afternoon, just before the final bell, it was burning. Not brightly, not dramatically, just enough to be noticed. At first, the teachers assumed it was a mistake, a forgotten decoration, part of a lesson, something a substitute had left behind. They meant to remove it, but every time they did, the next day it was back, lit again. The students noticed before the adults did. They whispered about it during reading time. They glanced at it during math. Some leaned closer, curious. Others stayed away, as if it were something fragile. And every time someone reached toward it, a quiet voice stopped them. "Please don't blow it out." The voice belonged to a boy named Noah. He was 8 years old, small, thin, the kind of child who didn't take up much space, even when he was sitting down. Noah sat at the desk beside the candle, always beside it. He never played with it, never stared into the flame. He simply sat close, hands folded as if keeping watch. When asked why the candle was there, he always said the same thing. "It has to stay on." That was all. No explanation, no emotion, just certainty. By the second week of December, the candle had become part of the classroom. The teachers avoided it. The students respected it. But one afternoon, Noah's teacher finally asked the question everyone had been holding. Her name was Mrs. Alden. She had taught long enough to know when silence carried meaning. She stayed after class that day while the other children packed up. "Noah," she said gently, kneeling beside his desk, "why is that candle always lit?" Noah didn't look at her. He looked at the flame. "My dad said it helps people find their way back," he said quietly. Mrs. Alden felt something tighten in her chest. "Find their way back from where?" she asked softly. Noah's fingers curled slightly. "From being lost." She waited. He took a breath. "He used to pick me up after school," Noah said. "Sometimes he was late, sometimes really late." The candle flickered. "He told me if I ever had to wait, I should keep a light on, so he'd know where I was." Mrs. Alden didn't speak. "He promised he'd come back before Christmas," Noah continued. "He said, don't let the light go out." The room felt very still. "He hasn't come yet," Noah said. "But it's not Christmas yet." Mrs. Alden swallowed hard. "That's why it stays on," Noah added, "just in case." That night, the candle wasn't removed. The next day, Mrs. Alden placed it in a small glass holder, quietly, without comment. As Christmas drew closer, the candle burned every afternoon. Some days it was shorter. Some days, a new one appeared in its place. No one asked where they came from. One afternoon, a janitor stopped in the doorway. "Is that safe?" he asked quietly. Mrs. Alden nodded. "Yes," she said. "It's important." The students began to understand. A girl left a paper star beside the candle. A boy placed a folded note nearby. No one ever stopped them. On the last day before winter break, the classroom glowed. The tree lights blinked softly. Desks were pushed aside. Parents waited in the hallway. The candle burned. Mrs. Alden watched Noah closely. He sat very still. The bell rang. Children cheered. Coats were pulled on. Goodbyes were shouted. Noah stayed seated. "Are you ready to go?" Mrs. Alden asked. He nodded. but I have to wait until it's dark." She hesitated. "What?" "So the light can be seen." That evening, as snow fell gently outside, a man stood across the street from the school. He was tired, cold, his jacket too thin for the weather. He looked at the building, at the windows, and then he saw it, a single candle, burning. He crossed the street slowly. The door opened. Noah looked up. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then Noah stood. "You saw it," he said. His father knelt, arms shaking. "I saw it," he whispered. Later, long after the candle was blown out, Mrs. Alden sat alone in the classroom. The desk was empty. The room was quiet, but the light felt like it was still there. Because sometimes Christmas isn't about decorations or gifts. Sometimes it's about keeping a light on long enough for someone to find their way home.